Morning you guys. Another tips and tricks video. This time it's 36 DCD7. The guy wants to run it on a 4.1 Chevy. It bogs down. He gave me a list of things that happens with it. And someone told him that the carby is too small for a 4.1 Chevy, which is not true. It will run beautiful on it. So let's open it up and see what's wrong with it. So here's the carby. It actually looks not too bad. And I'll make flat for him. And I see it's got a dodgy gasket in. Doesn't matter. But what I did notice, when you accelerate fully, the second choke doesn't open fully, meaning there's something wrong with the gear over there. But alright, let's take it apart and see what else we find. So remember, when you take something like this apart, always have a tub or a little tin or something close by where you put all the spares in. That way you're not going to lose it, number one. And number two, when you put it together, the tub must be empty, otherwise you've forgotten something. And in my case, where I work on quite a few carbs, I don't get the spares mixed up. So this gasket was actually not badly made, but we'll put a new one on. And what I like to do with these carbs, when I open them up, is just check what the accelerator pump does. So put a bit of fuel, immediately it drips out the bottom. So there's a hole somewhere. I'll check it out, but I want to see if it actually pumps. And I can see straight away there it's letting by. So something here is seriously blocked, or that little non-return isn't working. We'll check it out. So I've removed the jet. There it is. And I can clearly see it pumps, but there's also a lot of muck that comes out of there. So this whole channel is dirty. So I'm going to have to strip the carby and put it in an ultrasonic. Because no matter what I do, it'll just block the next little jet. But just to show you that it actually sprays, look at that. See how nicely it sprays. So I'll try and show you. This little hole is blocked. It's also too small. I don't know if this is going to be successful. Completely blocked. Ultrasonic will probably get it open, but it's also too small. It's a 50, and it needs to be for 4.1 at least a 70. I'll try and show you here. If you look inside that port, there's a lot of gritty and flaky bits inside there. And that's what's blocked up that idle jet. So this carby must have been standing a long time with water in it. And I also noticed there some bits and pieces. The guy said it was bogging down. If you look on this choke, you'll see that choke's at 24. On the first choke, it's way too small for a 4.1 Chev. But we'll get it sorted. So the client told me that this carby was bogging down, and another one of the reasons for that is these chokes were too small, the Venturis. He had a 24 and a 25, that's first choke and second choke. As the carby sits like that, first choke and second choke. So, and it should be, on a 4.1 Chevy, it should be a 27 and a 28. I've got tons and tons of 27s, but no 28, so I'll make these 28s. I take a 27 and I put it in the lathe and I make it a little bigger to accommodate the client. So now I've got a 27 and a 28 for this carby. Now it's time to clean. So I took this apart, and this completely shattered, so it was serving no purpose. But also In a previous life, someone has put silicone around here. Now, some of these nuts has got a taper on like this one, and then it doesn't need a seal on the carby. You don't need to put a seal there because the taper seals on the carby over there. They've also put a gasket on here, which in this case you don't need the gasket because that angle, tapered angle, seals perfectly on there. So you don't need anything on this type. You don't need a gasket or anything. So just to show you guys, all of this gunk is what I took out of there, and there's actually more in there. So between the mild acid dip that I put it in, and look inside there, between the mild acid dip and the ultrasonic cleaner and good old carb cleaner, I'm hoping to get that functional again. Yeah. So just something on the gaskets. This is a homemade gasket that the guy made, or someone, for the carb top. Nothing wrong with it. It's actually not a bad gasket. It seals everywhere where it's supposed to. This is another homemade one. This is how I took it out the carb. The guy used silicone or RTV or something. You do not do that at all. They were actually, those holes were not even right through, so that part of the carb couldn't function. And then this is another homemade one, also not a bad attempt, but this is the gaskets that I supply. I've got a guy that cuts them on a laser cutter for me, and it's a fairly decent design, and it's a fairly decent quality gasket. I also make it out of velamoid. I don't always use the green material. I make it out of 0.8 velamoid, but it's a decent gasket. So I've cleaned the carb a little bit. I had it in the mild acid and the ultrasonic. It looks a little bit better, and I've replaced that with a size 70. That's what it's supposed to be for a 4.1 Chevy. I've also replaced the jets with the right sizes. They were way too small, and the Venturis is now a 27 and a 28, which is perfect for the 4.1 Chevy. But look at that, spray is much better, so that'll sort out the bogging down. So there you have it. Carby is done, runs sweet. What was wrong with it? Completely wrong jetting for the application, and the carb was extremely dirty. Other than that, there wasn't really anything wrong with it. I had it in the mild acid for a while to try and get the gunk out inside. Had it in the ultrasonic for 40 minutes. Came out okay. The inside of the carbs, it's badly corroded, but it'll work. Nothing wrong with it. It runs beautiful. So, and I get it a lot where guys buy a carb from someone expecting it to work as it is. You can just about put any carb on any vehicle and it'll run. I mean, that carby on there is jetted for 4.1 liter Chevy, and it runs alright on my little 1.4 liter. Obviously it will be overfueled and everything, but I mean, it works. It runs, it idles, it's there. So yeah, anyway, I hope this helps someone. Be safe out there.